Back. All right, so we have with us Miss Deborah Moore Miggins, and of course, she's here to promote attorney at law, and she's so many things, but my mouth aching to speak something, but we can't do that. We're here to promote the church event, so let's go to it.
Next time.
Very good. All right, so we have, of course, so let's go into it. It's the Montgomery Moravian Church 235 or 35th anniversary celebration, and the history. Well, they will have a conversation, basically a program. It's an educational forum, panel discussion, and this is going to happen on the 16th of October at 5 p.m.
Tomorrow.
At Montgomery. Tell us about this panel discussion. I see some big people here, some big names.
Thank you.
Let's talk
Thanks
about
for recognizing them.
Yes.
Yes, good morning to your viewers everywhere. Yes, it is the Montgomery Moravian Church's 235th anniversary in Tobago. And we all acknowledge that's a big, long history of churchism here in Tobago. So we like to honor and commemorate this big celebration. We do that every 10 years. And this is the 10th year for doing it. And some of the events, some have gone, but there are still some exciting activities coming up. And we want to share with the Tobago public, even the public abroad, because they can zero in on particularly on this one, which is a panel discussion. And the topic is very, very exciting and interesting for not only the Moravians, but for all churches, all organizations that are really trying to reboot and re-energize itself. And we brought in 3 big names, as you said,
I see that.
to do exactly that. Right. You have Dr. Pemberton. We could go through that later. There's a Dr. Arthur Joseph, very humble and not as prominent as Dr. Pemberton, but packs a powerful image in Trinidad, where he was a lecturer at the University of the West Indies. And then our young, dynamic Moravian pastor, he's based in Barbados, and he will Reverend Dr. Adrian Smith. He will be the 3rd panelist to grace us this
So this discussion is surrounding the history of and the impact of the Moravian or the Montgomery Moravian Church in Tobago. And of course, we'll get into the history, how it managed to have evolved, and its place. Of course, we know the Catholic presence, the Anglican, and of course, Moravian. Speak to how each of these speakers, which area they would be focused on.
Well, that's a very interesting question, because we didn't want to limit them to areas. Of course, we know Dr. Pemberton is a historian, but what we want and hope she will do is extract from the history and apply it to where we want to go, where we ought to be going in the next decade. So we're not limiting her to come and just talk history. How does the history inform, support, and can be applied to this current world, this current generation, and in planning our future? We need that historical input.
Very good. Of course, and Dr. Arthur Joseph, which area of focus?
He is a man, he was an educational administrator, but he emerged as an organizational structure man. So he is good at pinpointing, show us some of the history, but more than that, what is the structure we need to take us where we want to go? How or the decision making to be done. Of course, we have a PC, which is at the apex of our administration. It's based in Antigua. But locally, we have a conference, Tobago Conference, Trinidad Conference. There's a superintendent, and there are other ministers below, I don't want to say below, but subordinate to the superintendent. Is that the best structure? Is that the structure that the 21st century that our young people need to make some dynamic decision and to take us forward again into the new
Very good. All right, so I'll just take 2 of these. Yourself is involved as
Yes,
one of...
I'm the moderator, and I'm certainly hoping to, invite and have people come by and see us all in action.
How does registration is there? Is it open to the public?
Open to the public and free. It's at the Montgomery Moravian Church, fittingly so, and it's 5 o'clock. Now, we want you to come. If you had to come straight from work, we'll give you some refreshments to bolster you.
Yes.
And we're hoping that, and there'll be prizes, some mysterious prizes that I wouldn't disclose right now. But there'll be prizes this afternoon. And of course, there'll be question time. There'll be people who might want to challenge some of the principles and ideas which the 3 panelists bring forward. We're hoping our young people, the sharp ones who are at school and they're studying their history, they can bring a new interpretation or show a different application to what is.
Each speaker would be open to questions from the
Correct.
So it's interactive. It's not sit and listen.
No. In fact, we want to cut off each speaker whether they like it or not at 15 minutes.
Okay.
They should be able to deliver their power-packed presentation complete with a reference to the history, a reference to the impact, and more so to the strategies that we're gonna extrapolate from all of that going forward. Right. And as I said, this doesn't only affect the Moravian Church. All churches ought to be attending or having that kind of discussion, and groups too, to see how they could use their history and their past to take us forward.
All right. And in my mind, there are some questions, but I will. That's tomorrow, Thursday.
Tomorrow, Thursday.
Yes, tomorrow, Thursday,
16th
at
5
Moravian
o'clock.
Church, 5
p.m.
Yeah.
At the Moravian Church. And we're waiting there for you, but I can't come without telling you some of the other programs that are planned. Now, we believe everybody in Tobago, black people, had a Moravian past, whether it's them or their grandparents, because the Moravians, when they came, they focused not only on God and the Bible, but on education. They built 2 small makeshift schools, top school, bottom school, started with a nursery, and then you graduated to the primary school. They taught agriculture, reading, writing, arithmetic. They taught music. Moravians were known for music and hymn singing. We wrote some of the best hymns that transport you to another place when you're singing them. So we also know that out of that experience came people who came from far and wide to go to that top school and bottom school because it was the only place teaching the slaves.
Right.
And that is the crucial element that makes us proud of our church, that it came concentrating not only on the landowners and the plantation people in the assembly and the legislature. They focus on the poor and lowly. They left where they came from, Germany, to come to these parts to do exactly
so there's a question there.
Sure.
Who were the first church that came? There's the argument whether it's the Anglican or the Catholic. Or they broke up and whatever.
Yeah.
And where did the Moravian fit in all that? Were
Well,
they before that, but not necessarily recorded? There's so many questions.
Well, I don't know that the Moravians were before them. Frankly, I think it's between the Catholic and the Anglican. But the Moravian was running from persecution from the very Catholics in Europe. And they set up a commune, if you want to call it that, in Germany, where they still had to hide and dodge, and there were still misunderstandings even among them. And they had to cover all of that, come together, and we talk about a big historic coming together they had back in the 17 late, and they organized themselves, and in 1732, they came to the Danish West Indies, which is now the U.S. Virgin Islands, and from there they percolated down to Antigua, I think St. Kitts, Antigua, Barbados, Tobago, And that is where we are.
All right, so we got to leave it there. And you whet my appetite.
Well,
so now I'm interested.
Oh, well, I'm glad for that.
You now whet the appetite. So we got to leave it there.
I hope I whet the appetite to everybody out there.
I tell
we
you,
have a magazine that we are doing, and when you come this afternoon, we talk to you a little more about that. Yeah. But I'm so happy that you stuck me in this little thing you give me, so you owe me coming back.
All right. All right. So Thursday, people, at the Moravian Church in Bethel, 5 p.m. Ms. Miggins, again, thank you for being here.
You are welcome, and thank you for having. Good morning, everybody.